Hi everyone. We are learning about fractions. To help us get started, we are going to use money as a model for thinking about fractions. Let's think about coins and how they relate to fractions. First, let's begin with a $50. The first fraction that is equivalent to half of a dollar is 1/2. 1/2 makes sense because its value is 50 cents. 50 is half of 100. So the next fraction we can write is 50 100ths. Because a $50 is worth 50 out of 100 cents. We can also write it as a decimal. 0.50 read as 50 hundredths. The next coin is a quarter. It helps to think about how many quarters it takes to equal $1. It takes 4 quarters to equal $1. So we can write the fraction 1/4 or 1/4 because it's 1 out of 4 that it would take to equal the whole dollar. When we think about the value of a quarter, we know each quarter is worth 25 cents. We can write the fraction 25 hundredths because 1/4 is 25 cents out of the whole 100 cents. And this is how we would write the decimal showing 25 cents. Now let's move on to the dime. It would take 10 dimes to equal 1 whole dollar. So we can write the fraction 1/10. We can also write the fraction 10 100ths because the value of 1 dime is 10 cents out of the whole 100 cents. And here's how we would write the decimal showing 1/10. For a nickel, we need to think about how many nickels it would take to equal 1 whole dollar. It would take 20 nickels to equal $1. So we can write the fraction 1/20th to represent 1 nickel out of a whole dollar's worth of nickels. We can also represent the value of a nickel with the fraction 5 100ths because 1 nickel is worth 5 cents out of the whole dollar. The decimal would be written as 0.05. We need to be careful that the 5 is in the hundredths place. Moving the 5 to a different place value changes the value of the 5. Finally, let's look at the penny. A penny is worth 1 cent out of 100 cents. So we can write 1 100th. We can also write its decimal value as 0.01. Again, we need to pay attention to the place value. Now here are a couple of fractions that can be tricky. One-fifth of a dollar is not a nickel. 1/5 of a dollar is actually equal to 2 dimes, or 20 cents. This is because the denominator, 5, tells us that the whole dollar, or 100 cents, is being divided into 5 equal groups. If 100 cents was divided into 5 equal groups, there would be 20 cents in each group. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So we go back to our notes on a nickel and remember that it would take 20 nickels to equal a whole dollar. So a nickel, 1 nickel is 1/20th of a dollar. The next tricky fraction is 1/25th. 1/25th does not have the same value as a quarter. Remember, it takes 4 quarters to equal $1. The denominator in 1/25th is 25. That means the whole dollar is being divided into 25 equal pieces. If we divide a dollar into 25 equal pieces, there would be 4 cents in each group. Or it would be written as a decimal as 0.04. I hope this is a helpful explanation for how we use money as a model for fractions.